Everybody knows what a topspin forehand is, but not everybody knows how to use topspin to create important tactical shots. In this show, you will not only see the basic topspin, but also the topspin shots that today's great players are using in a variety of situations. Hi, and welcome to this exciting episode of OnCourt with USPTA. I'm RJ Tessier, the Director of Certification and Testing for the United States Professional Tennis Association. Here to explain the topspin is Brett Hobden. He is an internationally recognized expert on modern tennis with well over 30 students winning national junior championships. He's also a published author and a popular speaker at coaching conferences.
We have something very exciting to share with you today. The 7 topspin types, something that you may have never seen before. Millions of viewers have watched tennis on TV, but mostly the angle that you see tennis is from above. Those high top camera angles from above. And what you get to see there is the direction of the ball and a change in speed. But what you don't see is the trajectory of the ball. This is what we're going to share with you today. And if you are fortunate enough to go to a professional match, it also will give you a whole new appreciation for what these players are doing. We're going today to look at the arc, the drive, the loop, the lob, the angle, the dip drive, and the bender. Let's go take a look at it. The arc ball is a very common shot that's used in baseline play because the arc ball has a lot of safety for starters. It's passing the net around about a meter up off the tape. So there's very little risk of hitting the net. It's very important though that you have enough topspin with that trajectory that the ball will drop down. This shot we commonly see today on the men's pro tour. They hit this ball fearlessly, yet it's safe. Because of the net clearance, they can hit this ball many, many times, moving their opponent around with very aggressive swings. We're starting to see this shot make more headway into the women's game today. A little bit higher over the net, but still with a lot of ball speed, but the safety. So it's hit very aggressive, but that clearance reduces a lot of the net errors. Now for just the average club player, you might be very surprised when you view tennis on TV. Everybody thinks that the ball might be going over the net just a couple of inches because of that camera angle view. That the arc ball is about 1 meter over the net, but still getting from baseline to baseline very quick. So when you're rallying with someone, you don't need to go just a few inches over the net. Keep it up, give a little net clearance, you'll reduce a lot of net mistakes. Drive is a very low, aggressive shot, hit only about 1 foot over the net. The drive is used in a common situation like a passing shot. The net player comes in, the passing player will go for a drive, making it difficult for the volleyer. You don't want to keep it up high if you've got somebody coming in. The other time we see a drive hit is in a baseline rally when the opponent gets a ball and hits it a little bit short, and the player lining up to hit the ground stroke sees an opening and hits the ball low and fast, and the ball penetrates the court, gets from one end to the other. The drive, you'll also, when we compare it to the arc, you see that a little bit more in the women's game. They hit a little bit lower, but in the men's game, with a little bit more height and topspin.
If you would like more information about the 7 topspins that Brett is describing today, visit uspta.com and select the OnCourt with USPTA button to purchase your copy. The DVD is filled with special features and an additional 40-minute lesson. Coming up next, we'll see more on the drive and learn the additional topspins. See you soon. Before the break, we showed you the arc topspin and its identifying features, and then we moved into what is probably the most common topspin, the drive. But before we move on, we're going to go back and see Brett work with Carla Sarlarza, a former college player, on the topspin drive in the passing shot situation. Then we'll show you 2 more topspins, the loop and the lob.
Now what I'm going to do here with Carla is I'm going to position myself in a location on the court of where an approach shot might come from. So Carla, what we're going to work on first is a topspin passing shot down the line. All right, let's give it a whirl, see how we go. All right? All right, good. Let's recover back to the center. Now we're really going after this. Beautiful. All right, a little bit lower to the net than that. Here we go. Awesome. All right, again. Lots of racket speed on that shot. There we go. All right, again. You hit that target, I could hear it. Beautiful. All right, and if I was coming into the net, pass me. All right, just wide. All right, here we go. Ready? Here we go. I'm coming in. Pass. Beautiful. All right. And notice, I'm not talking about depth at all with Carla in these situations. That's why I've got a run of cones like this. What's really key when you hit a drive passing shot is the height over the net. It doesn't really matter. If you keep the ball close to the sideline, depth is irrelevant in this situation. And the loop ball is hit about 2 to 3 meters over the net. We commonly see this when the baseline player is pushed back a little bit. They could be on their back foot, backing up to hit the shot. Now, a lot of club players here in this situation where they're threatened, they try to go for a winner. What we see the pros do in this situation, they go for this loop ball. Nadal showed us some great loop balls at the last French Open. When he got forced deep, it hit this heavy topspin ball, bouncing up very high into the opponent's strike zone. But a lot of players, rather than move around and hit the loop ball on their forehand side, which is usually much easier for most players, they tend to struggle with these high backhands. So what you've got to do is pick a looper on the forehand. So this shot is a great shot to get you out of trouble when you push deep. It can also elicit short balls from your opponent. Your opponent's going to get to a loop ball, but what are they going to do with that loop ball? So if you've hit a good loop ball to your opponent, look for the short ball. It might get him in trouble. Keep your eye out for the loop ball. We're going to see a lot more of those in today's game. What I'm going to do to you, Carla, is I'm going to hit the ball a little bit high to your backhand, and what we're particularly going to look at is the rebound height of her ball. Will it be difficult or will it be easy for me? So I back her up a little bit towards her backhand. She loops it, and not too high for me, so she can give it a little bit more depth and height than that one. This looks tough. Man, that would be a tough ball, right? Very close to the baseline, good arc on that ball. I mean, that thing bounced 3/4 of the way up the fence. That's going to give your opponent a lot of trouble. Now the topspin lob is going to be hit another couple of meters higher than the loop ball. This is used for going over the head of that incoming volleyer. A lot of the great baseline players that we see today have developed a great offensive lob. They use a lot of topspin, but just for you club players, you can also use this shot with just a little bit of a roll. It's an offensive shot to keep that net player guessing. It's great to have. If you have someone coming in and pressing you and closing into the net too tight and they're picking off volleys, the offensive lob or the topspin lob is a great way to keep them guessing and perhaps keep them back a step or two. It's a dangerous shot if you have it against that incoming net player.
Brett, we're seeing the players nowadays take such a fast swing at the ball. Is that good advice?
Yeah, that's great advice, RJ. I mean, other than the exceptions where the pros may have to block a ball back into play off their ground strokes, they're pretty much taking a full rip at the ball. And even though they're swinging so fast, though, they can do so much with the ball. Fast and low, or high and loopy, or severe angles, and they're just taking a full rip at it.
Be sure to stay with us. We'll have lots more on the topspin variations. Welcome back. Are you ready to add a couple more topspins to your game? Good, because we're going to have two fantastic shots that you're going to love to hit. First, we examine the angled topspin and the trajectory of that shot, along with where to hit it, and then we'll explore the dip drive, a powerful shot in today's game that advanced players can benefit from hitting.
Now the topspin angle is hit over the net at about the height of a drive, but it's hit very sharply across court and it lands at about the sideline tee, hit with very heavy topspin. So it's a dipping ball. It can be used in a couple of situations. We've seen Monica Seles and Andre Agassi bring this shot to the game with great results. In their baseline rallies on the right ball, they could take that heavy topspin angle and make their opponent run extremely wide to retrieve the shot, putting them way out of the court, opening up greater opportunities for their next shot. It also makes for a great cross-court passing shot. When you hit a cross-court passing shot, you don't need to always hit the ball deep to the corner. The topspin angle makes it even more difficult for the volleyer. Even if they get there, because it's low and it's hit with a lot of topspin, they have to volley the ball from below net height, making a difficult volley and tough for them to put it away. After you play that angle, look for the next shot. The volleyer can't put it away, so you're going to get another chance. Use, with your arcs and your drives, the angles to either take your opponent way off the court or when they come into the net to pass them cross court. Let's take a look and see if Carla can work on this angle. Let's have a go, Carla. Here we go. Oh, look at that. Doesn't get too much better than that first go. That's a super shot. Right, you see where that ball landed? Nice height over the net, and that's going to do a lot of damage in a baseline rally, right? That can make your opponent move and cover a lot of ground. Let's do it a couple more times. That was beautiful. All right, and you get there? Look at that. That's unbelievable. And you know, off a tough ball like that, that is just such a great shot, right? Because that would be very difficult to go down the line. And that's the beauty, Carla, of having all these different options in your game. You see what we're starting to create here? Because not every time you get the ball is perhaps the drive the best shot or the arc. But when you have loops, you have topspin lobs, you have angles, all of a sudden, now you build a repertoire and you expand the toolkit of shots you have in your game. And that's how you start to play better tennis. The dip drive is one of my most favorite shots and one of the most exciting shots that you're going to see on the Pro Tour today. This is the high-octane topspin that we see on the forehand and now on the backhand. This is when a player moves in, receives the ball at around shoulder to head high and can hit down on the ball with great velocity, just blowing the ball right past their opponent. Years ago, this was a tough shot in the game. When balls got up high on players, they had a lot of trouble. But with today's grips and today's swing patterns, players can just rip on this ball. We see it in the forehands, even on the kick serves. It used to pose a threat to a lot of players. Players move around now and look for the dip drive forehand. They can hit big power off this shot. Now we see players like Federer being able to play dip drives off single-handed backhands. So look out, when you hit a ball high to your opponent, it better make a move and it better be deep. If it's short, they're going to knock your head off with a dip drive. So watch for the dip drive on the Pro Tour. You're going to see some big shots.
Now that you have a better understanding of these shots, I challenge you to go out in the court and try to apply these topspin shots in your game. Remember, when you try these shots, they have to be hit from the appropriate area of the court with the right tactical goal in mind for you to be successful. For further help in your game, contact a local USPTA professional in your area. Don't head off on the court just yet. You don't want to miss the next topspin. If you've ever dreamed of hitting your forehand passing shots on the run for a winner, then you need to watch this next topspin. But before we watch this next shot, here's a quick word from Brett.
I've just shared with you 6 of the 7 topspin variations, the last one being the dip drive, which is for advanced tennis players. But I've got some great news for you club players. You can easily incorporate the first 5 topspins into your game.
Even if you've just learned how to hit topspin and can only produce a low to moderate forward roll on the ball, you can introduce these 5 topspin types by focusing on the ball's trajectory. In this illustration, we'll compare the racket speed, trajectory, spin, and speed of the ball between a club player and a pro. We can see that with a slower racket speed, the amount of topspin or revolutions per second and the speed of the ball are less, even though the trajectory remains very similar. This illustration would apply to each one of the 5 topspin shots. As you can see, both players are hitting the arc. The pro illustration is just kicked up a notch or 2. Understanding this will help you play like the pros.
Now it's time for me to introduce you to the final topspin. Let's go meet the bender.
Now the bender is another great shot in the modern game. One of Pete Sampras's trademark shots. Players would come in low down the line to the player's forehand, and from a very low impact point, you'd see Sampras take this shot and hit with the follow through going up on the same side of his body. This type of spin, what we're going to see, a low ball over the net like a drive, but the word bender comes in because the ball actually will take a turn and a bend into the court because it's a combination of top and side spin, hence bringing the ball in with a bend. So what used to be difficult for players that had these semi-western and extreme grips, low balls, the answer was hit the ball low and come in, give them lots of trouble. Not anymore. The bend is the shot that can handle all the low stuff, and look out, it can be dangerous. So learn the bender. If you've got those extreme grips, you can still do a lot of damage to your opponent using the bender. With this shot, not only can you get out of trouble, but you can give your opponents a lot of trouble right back at them. In review, we've seen the drive, the low ball, 1 foot over the net, hit with a lot of power, with topspin, to penetrate through the court. The arc ball, 1 meter clearance, heavy topspin, a safety shot, clearing the net, but being able to move the opponent around the court. The loop ball, hit 2 to 3 meters over the net, used a lot when you're forced deep, and also to keep your opponent deep in the court and elicit short returns. The topspin lob, hit over the head of the incoming player to put them on notice. When they close in too tight, you can beat them with that topspin lob. The dip drive, hit from a high impact point, very aggressive, seen on the forehand and now on the backhand, hit down into the court with a lot of power. The angle, low over the net like a drive, heavy topspin, and hit very wide to open up the court and really make your opponent run wide to chase the ball down. And the bender, great to hit when you've got a wide ball or from a low impact point, used to pass the player or handle a difficult shot and give them some trouble right back at them.
Brett, that was a great lesson today to hear you talk about the different trajectories of the ball and the variations of the modern game and the shots.
Yeah, I think what it shows us clearly is, RJ, is in today's game and the modern game, what it's done is it's opened up a whole new realm of tactical possibilities and what these players can do with the ball today. And I think the master of these 7 topspins, obviously, is Federer, and that's why he is the #1 player in the world.
Brett, thanks so much for joining us. We look forward to seeing you again on court with USPTA. If you need help with your game, find a USPTA Pro at usptafindapro.com.